I don't know
Okay,
what this
champions.
is. I think
Should
there's
we
some
give this a
schmutz on
go?
my camera.
Yeah.
Now there's schmutz. Before it was fine.
Was it fine before?
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Technical
I got
issues.
it.
New
I love
Zoom.
this shit. I love this.
Ah, flip and don't. Hold on, I just want to try turn off the light here and just see if the screen actually
Yeah, yeah,
gives me
yeah. Now
enough.
keep fiddling around the light by all means.
Cinema.
That's not better, is it?
It is. We
He's
can
trying
see
to
you
avoid
now.
looking like he's testifying by a satellite link in a narco trial in Miami.
Before you looked like you'd been dead for a week. Now it's only one day.
More
Of your particular.
settings.
Should we
Is
have a
that
go?
better?
Yeah, it's fine, man. Let's just go with it. I think it's
Fuck
fine.
it, I'm
It is
sick
better.
of it.
Yeah, go away. It was worse.
The cable's not reaching now. Boys, I'm actually ready to fucking not record tonight, I swear.
Yeah, well, I tell you
swear.
what,
This shit drives me fucking nuts.
The camera's at the bottom of the laptop.
Yeah, it's weird.
have you got the laptop upside down, Mike?
No, okay. How's that?
Oh, so much better. Oh, yeah.
Well, good evening and welcome to the second ever episode of Gearboks. A ray of light, an upgraded headlight in a misty world. That's us. And we're still all here. Slightly different order this week. We've got the doctor on the far right.
Hello.
Taking the first position. And then we've got the cabbage salesman.
Hello.
Same position as last week, if I remember correctly. And then the same position as last week, although only in terms of editorial purposes, not geographically, is the hustler. Michael
Good
Solomon.
evening. Yeah,
How are you, Michael?
A lot.
You sent it. And also me, the ad man. Big news. Lots have happened in the last week. We have achieved over 100 views, which is a faster growth rate than an AI stock, hopefully in our case with more substance. But this can really only mean one thing, and that is that one of the 4 people that watched the show, who's endeavored to be a family member, did a dodgy deal with the bot farm to get us extra views from a data center somewhere in Lesotho. So
I don't like it. I think you're being negative. We could actually be so crap that people are actually wanting to watch more.
That's true.
Like a car crash.
Like a train wreck.
Yeah.
Car crash. Pretty much we're all on the same page. This week we have an interesting menu. We're going to start with a few reflections from our first episode, some deeply heartfelt reflections on what it's like to suddenly be breaking through into the stratosphere of small town internet fame.
I feel famous.
You look famous.
Thank you.
You look
Working
very
my
famous.
way
I
down.
must say, just Nadav is genuinely a celebrity. The one who was like, I see his name and I'm going to subscribe. So kudos for that.
Here we go. I wonder who said that.
KPIs are met, Nadav. You're top of the sales leaderboard.
A fan.
You got a fan.
We're so lucky to have him. He's drawing the spectators.
He's drawing the spectators. The doctor. He's our Mac Dreamy. The next thing on the agenda we have for this week is interesting things that we got up to in this last week. Then we've got some real world car reviews, where this is essentially every massive global media organization has a CSI outreach program. This is ours, and what we aim to do there is to help people in the real world with some of their motor-related challenges. We've got a Porsche that needs some love. We've got a continuation of last week's buy or not to buy the Chinese saga with Mike and Mark, and we have a garage update on the 4-leaf clover from the doctor. After that, we're going to get into a deep discussion on the rules of parking, a very important topic, which promises to give us an insight into the occasionally infinite stupidity of humans. We are relying on you, Doctor, or as he has been called in past life, the enforcer, when he's out in the real world.
Yeah.
Future
Especially with
classics,
parking. Yeah.
especially with parking, yes. Might be one of our first pieces of merch. So if you like and subscribe at some point in this thing, you might get some Mark Paluta original parking advisory stickers, which are very difficult to remove. After that, we have future classics that you can buy today, but probably shouldn't. That's a nice little topic.
That's a good
and then
one.
last piece of questions on what you should watch this coming week. In this case, not necessarily channels, but individual pieces of content. So unless there are any urgent matters to put before the committee from our our panel. Should we jump right in?
Jump in. Let's do
Please.
it.
Alrighty. Reflections on episode 1. I mean, 6 years. What were your thoughts, Doctor? Looking back on episode
Yeah,
1.
I'm quite proud of us. We've got a certain rapport, um, and a little bit of banter goes a long way. Everybody seems to enjoy it, and that comes through from the attendees, and it's a nice outlet for us to talk about the things that we got no one else to talk about with. And no, I'm quite proud. I mean, for a first attempt in 6 years, new format, new chairman. Um, I think it was pretty damn solid and a good foundation. What do you guys think?
There we go.
I
All right.
agree.
I'm not sure. I think we could have shouted a little bit more at each other. I think that the gloves need to come off. I think
What are you
it
talking
needs to
about,
move
Mark?
from gearbox to gearboxing. I mean, the only real cuck thing that was said, that Mark made a stupid comment about Kalani being the best race circuit in the world. Honestly,
I'm-
honestly,
Mark,
You
how
were
many
very
9
polite.
hours have you won at Killarney?
I haven't, but I have podiumed
Exactly.
there.
Thank you. No, that's enough. That's all I asked for. Right. I felt like it was
Is
fantastic.
podiuming a word?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a
Sounds
trophy and
dirty.
everything.
Okay.
All right. Take it
So
outside.
listen,
Mark,
I thought it was
your
good.
feelings.
We are here really mainly just for us, if we're honest. We needed this more than the public. So, and I thought we ticked that box. We had fun and we'll continue to have more fun. The structure will come, the quirks will disappear, but I'm just happy to do this. Talk to my mates on a
Amen.
Thursday. What a job.
Amen. Michael, what were your reflections?
No, I already gave it. As I say, I think that we've got the knowledge. I think now it's time to get a little bit feisty, because there are definitely some aligned views, but I think everyone wants to see like where there is actually debate and how we get to the end results of coming to what is the best, what's the worst, what's the ugliest. And I look forward to these heated
Why is the
debates.
Alpha 4C the answer to most of those? I don't know.
Well, it's a
The
little bit of
Alpha
everything.
4C is so polarizing. We can write a book on that car. But anyway, it's
It
not on the
is, it is.
agenda.
We have to
We're
come back
sticking
to
to
it,
the
please.
agenda. Mark,
Not on the agenda.
Barnes, agenda.
Agenda. Order, members, order. Okay, this last week, we've had lots of time to ponder. Mark, what did you
Yeah.
get up to this last week? What things with engines and wheels did you get up to?
So I did something that maybe doesn't appeal to the listener of this podcast, but I rode a motorbike to Clarence.
Oh.
Not only to Clarence, off-road to Clarence and back. So I did 710 kilometers off-road, and it was spectacular. And you know what? It's a bike or car. Most of the roads I went on, you could take a car, maybe not a GT3, but you could, something SUV-ish or 4x4-ish. And it's just about getting out there and driving and seeing our actually very beautiful country. And
What bike?
What bike?
BMW GS 1200. It was fantastic. It was me and a bunch of guys on KTMs. I didn't fall off. Some of them did.
Did you use your indicators?
I did not.
Is the rule with BMW
I didn't tick
motorbikes?
that option box on my BMW bike.
I'm wondering if they're the same as cars. Okay,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Highly recommended. Get on the back roads of South Africa. There's so many dirt roads out there. Actually, Bonds, you got a fun fact on dirt roads in South Africa. What is it? How many? There's a lot.
That's true. I think, don't quote me correctly, but or directly. I think it's for every 1 kilometer of tar, there's 7 kilometers of dirt.
Yeah.
And some of the
Absolutely.
best passes in South Africa, the best passes are actually dirt.
Yeah.
The top tip.
And they don't all run
Yeah.
parallel to the highway, so you won't see them. They're far away. Very cool, though. Yeah, that's me.
Did
So
you
that was
jump the
my...
bike in the air?
Not on purpose. But I landed, and I was very happy with it. Genuinely got caught by surprise, Superman the thing, and landed on it. So I was pretty happy, and stopped and changed my underpants and carried on.
Box, new jocks. on the side of the
Exactly,
dirt road.
exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
dirt road.
Yeah, that was me.
Um, that sounds pretty cool. That
It
sounds
was
pretty
rad.
cool.
It was
Going
rad.
forward, we definitely need to find a spot to talk about stretches of road,
Yes.
times of year, car company, because there are so many fabulous pieces of tar in 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 our in our country. So now the next one is going to be interesting because this is Mike and Dove. What was your activity from this last week?
So, I mean, we both went to the same event, and I'm going to actually let Nadav
Did you
do
wear
a
the
little
same
bit
outfit?
more discussion about the event, but because ours is a little bit of a backstory. As we mentioned last week, Mark and I are very accomplished race drivers. We have a team called
Very.
the Bushfighters, and we drive a car that is dressed up in um, a Marlboro livery, but it has been substituted for because of tobacco restrictions.
Put
We've
up a
changed
picture.
Marlboro
We'll put up a picture.
We'll
to
put up a
to
picture.
Marlboro. And actually, there's a video that I took which has a couple of expletives in it, but it might actually be worth putting in now. But essentially, the Vintage and Veteran Club is a club for which is actually sort of dying because there's aging members, and actually the typical classics have become isolated to older generation. And the club, unfortunately, it's vibrant, but it definitely has lost a little bit. But every it's the last Sunday of every month, and it's in Abbotsford in Johannesburg. And there's always some reasonably interesting stuff there. And they have themed days. So I didn't know that it was the French Day, and as a lover of French cars, Nadav will talk about what was there. But I decided to take the car that we drove the 9 hour in to the show. It's not overly road legal, and in the 9 hour we had quite a major issue in that we lost a rear wheel assembly and had to substitute on what is a Polo Cup race car. Mark and a couple of helpers transplanted the right rear corner from a City Golf onto the rear. That's unfortunately necessitated the removal of a brake disc, so there were no rear
It
brakes for the
removed
last
itself,
bit.
Mark. The brake disc
Yeah,
left the chat.
All right.
and
Just, just can I interrupt?
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
want to make an asterisk for later. The only other car that I know that regularly loses a rear wheel subassembly is an Omoda.
And a high
Yeah,
ace.
but
Definitely.
that's
Yes, we
something.
do.
Yeah, we'll
And
talk about that, but that wasn't for the South African one. But that said, so essentially they transplanted this onto and I drove a 3.25 hour stint because Jacques came in a little bit early. On and for the last
That's what she
hour,
said.
for the last hour, for the last hour, the car started not wanting to slow down for corners. And we were
And
racing on
Michael,
a
I'm going
track
to
with
bring
So
you
nothing
back
but
to
wait,
the
cars.
VVC. I'm going to bring you back to VVC and the car that you took to French Day.
No,
Let's fast forward to that.
so I drove that car there, and I realized on the way there that not only was there no rear brakes, but there was really no front brakes either. So I arrived into the VVC with scraping front discs, and with all these people wearing berets and fancy French
well,
outfits. I had this car that arrived in
Mark,
the midst of it.
did you
Now I will
finish the
now turn
race?
over to Nadav
Did you
because
finish
he
the race?
witnessed me
Stop moaning.
arriving.
Um, yeah, the VVC is quite an Ordentlik affair, and there's everybody's particularly on French Day is dressed up appropriately, and it's quite people line up their cars and they park them square, and then I will say that your racing car is road legal in Mexico. So driving it there was a non-issue, but there was this horrendous noise, squeaking and shuffling and engine noise and exhaust and God knows what. And then suddenly this thing arrives that's in Marlboro livery, and it's clearly a racing car. And Mike sort of stumbles out of it. Everyone's looking. He's parked right in the middle of the affair, of
How
course.
do you do that?
Um,
How do you and not
and
be embarrassed?
I was gonna go and park on the other side, but it's too low. I would have caught the sun.
Sure,
yeah.
sure. We know
So
you're under
I
attention, Mike.
was initially I was embarrassed knowing that I know the car and the driver, and then I pulled myself together and went to say hi. Um, and yeah, that's I mean, only Mike Salomon would do something like that, but we know that our audience doesn't. You see, so
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should put a
but,
disclaimer.
and
Doc, talk
Knowing the
about
car
what
and the
was at the
driver, you
shop.
Okay.
shouldn't have. Knowing the car and the driver, you shouldn't have been surprised that was
yeah,
going to happen.
perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was there? So it was other than a very broken racing car. Um, what did I see that caught my eye? Well, really, what comes to mind was a Citroen DS Safari, which
Wow,
Ooh,
is
that's cool.
the yeah,
yeah.
which is the station wagon version of the Citroen DS. Um,
That's
which is
cool.
a really cool thing. I don't think they made very many of them, and it was in incredible shape. And what was so interesting was that it had two number plates, and the owner actually explained to me they're at 90 degrees from each other, and that's because the tailgate drops in half. It splits in half, and the tailgate drops, and so that when it drops, you need to have a number plate that's facing 90 degrees the other way so that it can still be seen, which was a really cool thing. It
That's
was in
cool,
good
quick.
condition.
Yeah.
So we'll put
The
it,
only time I've
presumably
seen one of those was when I went to Le Mans in 17 in Paris. I saw one parked on the streets. It's such a cool thing.
very cool.
Oh, the French like a bit of rallying. They got a bit of a history with that, with sending their cars off.
They're good at it. Yeah.
But Doc, what about the 250 short wheelbase rep that had the French flag stripes on it?
I missed that, but I've seen it before. Is that a GTO?
Yeah.
No, it's a 250 short wheelbase. It
It's a
was
GTO
It's a
basically
GTO
engineering car.
engineering.
It's a GTO engineering
no,
car. Yeah.
I think so. I think
It
so.
It's a
It's
is.
a
I
really
know
cool
it
Is
BMW
that
car.
the
is.
number.
UK outfit?
It is.
The
I
okay.
actually
Cool
sent
thing.
some pictures to the group, so maybe we can put a couple of those up.
Yeah. So, guys, so once a month, PVC, Abbotsford, Oaklands, Johannesburg. Come have a look. Yeah, it's there's always something interesting to see there, and there's some people watching to do as well if you're interested. And
Yeah. Don't forget your walking stick.
don't forget your walking stick. Yeah, that's fair.
Don't forget your walking stick. But I think in Mike's defense, although we shouldn't have been surprised that that's the way that he ultimately arrived at BBC, I remember, and the doctor clearly is clearly a sucker for punishment. I think the first time I ever went to BBC and the first time I ever knew about it, the doctor said to me, last Sunday of the month, are you coming tomorrow, Sunday, to BBC? Pull in, and I'll see you there. So he told me where it was. And when you arrive at the spot, I pulled in. At the time, I was driving a moss green metallic 911 and 83 Porsche 911. And as you drive in, those in the know, like the doctor, know that you drive around the back of BBC, particularly when it's British Car Day. And
Yeah.
all the cars on display, like French Car Day, would have been in front. So as you come into the entrance, you should go around the back. Instead, of course, you naturally turn left. And I managed to park a rather handsome green Porsche 911 in the midst of the Bentley and MG and Rover display, which didn't
That's
go down.
okay.
Doctor,
You're
Auntie, I
forgiven.
get you. I get you.
and I went
You're
and
forgiven, and that car is much missed. Although I see it every once in a while.
yeah, that one is much missed.
YPH, this is for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, better to have loved and lost than not loved at all. Right. Last week, I spent quite a bit of time editing this particular show and trying
Thank
to
you.
make sense of it, which was a lot of fun, which was very gratifying. So I didn't do much in cars as far as the cars are concerned, but I did listen to the four of us finding our new place in the world. Okay, on to the next section. Car review choices for the real world. And this is definitely going to have pictures. And I hope all of you did your homework so that we can put the pictures up.
Yeah.
This is where we attempt to, as I said earlier, help people in the real world with their car choices. So if you are considering an upgrade or buying something that has wheels and an engine, or maybe an electric, or who knows what logo it has on it, doesn't really matter. Let us know in the comments what you're considering. And we, between us, will enlighten you. We will be like that upgraded headlight in a misty world. So this week, to start off, Mike and Mark, coming back to the saga that we touched on last week.
Well, I
The
actually
tale
went.
of two 18-year-olds buying cars for daughters, buying cars for children, buying cars for 18-year-olds, aka the to buy or not buy a Chinese product.
Well,
Give us
okay.
an update.
So I actually went, and it wasn't for the 18-year-old, but I'll tell you what it was for. So um, everyone's seen these. I like to call them Hong Kong defenders driving around. Actually got to the point where I was like, there's so many of these things. Every mom at the school drop-off has one these days, looking all smug in her new Defender. I thought, let me just go and drive one because I don't. Yeah, the T2, the J Tour T2. So I thought, let me go and actually test this thing for myself and see what it's about. I had someone who was interested in one, and I tried to talk them out of it. And I thought, well, actually, let me just go and test it and see what it's about so I can form my own proper opinion before I get too judgy. Anyway, went to the J Tour dealership, and I mean, actually, if you're a salesman selling a car in Johannesburg or South Africa at the moment, if you're not selling Chinese cars, you're going to have a tough time. So, full of salesmen, all very helpful. Got me a key for a J Tour T2, and it's not the top. There's actually two levels above the one I drove. So you get one that's a trim level higher, and then you get a plug-in hybrid that's even higher than that one. So I drove 2-liter turbocharged. Yeah, middle of the pack, but it's the popular one. That's what I wanted to drive, the one everyone's driving. So it looks, for those who, we'll put up a picture, for those who don't know what it looks like, they're all over South Africa, so you should know. It looks like a Defender, but it looks like it's 6/8 of a Defender in size. So it's scaled down slightly, more than slightly. And it rides lower, but it has all the boxiness, and it's unashamedly copied the Defender. Even the quirky box on the side of the Defender, it's got that as an option.
Yeah, it's a good copy. It's a good copy.
No, exactly. So, so got in it, and it's very evident that the Chinese have spent money in the places that count these days for the selected audience, and that is trim level. Everything you touch feels quality. The stalks feel quality. The steering wheel is a nice leather. I don't know if it's leather, but feels like leather. The seats are a nice leather. It's got touch screens and big screens and glitz and glamour. But from the minute I started it, something didn't add up. It sounded like there was sound deadening missing. So I could hear the motor immediately. Put it in reverse.
So it's like a GT3.
Exactly. They were trying to be a GT3. Lack of sound deadening. Lightweight. That's the reason.
You pay extra for that.
Yeah.
Like Ferrari, Porsche, and Mercedes.
Yeah, so put it in reverse, and it's got a double clutch gearbox, but also immediately noticed the and this is really nerdy, and I'm going to give you what I felt and take what you want. But the gearbox calibration is wrong. It rides the clutch quite a lot before it engages, so it's quite grabby. So it'll, like, the motor will rev up and it'll grab, and the same in the forward gears. So it just felt crashy and bumpy. And long story short, in my opinion, the Chinese have invested in the aesthetic more than in the engineering, in the engine, gearbox, suspension department. It felt crashy. The primary ride wasn't good. But having said that, it's still great value at its price point. So I've written a few notes here. I think they start at 569,000 Rand up to 779 for the top of the line.
Yep.
What you get for the look.
What's a Defender now?
Oh, I don't know. Over the new 2 million. Am I close? I don't know exactly. I should have probably researched that.
Someone can Google it while you carry on, and then we'll drop in at the end of the segment.
Yeah. But anyway, so, and then you get the warranties. It's got 1 million, or potentially, I think you can increase it to 1 million kilometer warranty on the engine, which
Only
is
on the first, only on the first owner.
okay on
So
the
it's a
first
million
owner.
k's
But
on
it's
the first.
possible. It's possible. So the average South African is going to go buy this car. It's not, I mean, relatively, you get a lot for your money and it's well looked after. So it's hard to turn your nose up at that stuff. I think it makes a lot of sense for where we are economically in this country and the offering. I think it's cool. There's one caveat though, and that is that it doesn't have it's never been actually NCAP rated. So it's got something called Asian NCAP rating, which is not exactly the same. In fact, I Googled it and it's a lesser rating than a normal NCAP rating. So if safety is high on your list of priorities, maybe do a lot more research on it. Very important. So that was my test
Well,
drive of a Chinese car.
look at you in episode 1 saying that one of the things that makes Gearboks so different and us stand out is the fact that we're not journalists. But Mark, I mean, you've just done a very good impersonation of,
Okay.
a car review from one of the esteemed South African, motoring
Yeah,
journalists
I don't know what I would
publications.
say to someone who wants to buy one though. I'd be like, yeah, I mean, what are you going to use it for? If you're going to use it to go to work and back every day, it's cool. If you enjoy taking it off road, definitely not. Oh, that's another problem. Is the weight carrying capacity? What do you call that? The
Yeah, I've heard
Oh,
about
Yeah,
it. But
versus
it's
GVM.
on the plug-in hybrid
yeah,
that it's the real problem.
it's only 300 kilos on the plug-in hybrid permissible weight in the car. I think it's 300. I've got it here, 375 in the
Yeah.
non-plug-in hybrid, which is 4 adults and you're done
Yeah, and
or
no luggage.
look, it's,
without
it's a
luggage.
practical reason. It's a practical
Uh,
reason
but,
why
but,
our
but,
blue
but
light
just
brigade.
explain that, Mark. So effectively, from what I understand, what that is that vehicles need to be up to a certain weight, otherwise you need a different license or something, or they get classified differently. So if you were to weigh the plug-in hybrid with all that thing, it actually exceeds. It's not really road legal, is it?
I don't know if it's that or if it's just what the suspension of the car can handle, what it's been designed to handle. Because the non-plug-in hybrid has a similar weight bearing capacity as a Suzuki Jimny, which is a car that's half the size. So, yeah, that isn't a bit of an issue. There was a bit of a hoo-ha on social media about it recently, where if you exceed the vehicle's total, I think GVM, gross vehicle mass, and
Mhm.
you're in an accident, you're not insured.
Insurance.
No
Yeah,
cover.
Yeah.
yeah. So you got to be
Well, there
careful
you
with
go.
that.
There you go.
Top
There's a
tip.
top tip. If you're a politician who's looking to get into power in the upcoming municipal elections and are thus naturally looking for a new fleet for your blue light brigade, you'll be happy to know that the Jet Tour T2 is off your list because ultimately it can only accommodate you and one skinny bodyguard. So there we go.
There you go.
Mike, your
I'm
version
not sure.
of the Chinese
I'm not sure that we've covered the question around first cars. So I've got a real world um, decision that I made. Well, I didn't make it. My daughter was asking for that, but I bought my first daughter a 3 or 4 year old Cooper S Mini
Many.
Good choice. Good
in
choice.
grey, which is
Good choice,
cool.
Dad. Good
And it's a
choice.
hell of a. I must tell you, like as a car, it just does so much. I mean, it is exceptional. I really, really am blown away by that car. But my other daughter wanted a black Omoda C5. Now,
Say what?
it is. I must just say, um, uh, engine and gearbox combination. It's really like not amazing. It's a 1.5 non-turbo, 88 kilowatts CVT, and the thing's heavy.
Can
So
we say can we say shit on this podcast?
I mean, she's
Maybe
actually
not.
at a lesson at the moment, so she won't hear me saying this, but it really is not amazing to drive. That said, that that said, as an appliance, it's more than adequate. And I'm saying like at the money, it looks like an SUV. It feels like an SUV. It's on the smaller wheels, so the tires you can feel it rolling around a bit. I think plow and understeer is going to be the order of the day. but it's never
What
going to be used for
gearboxes?
that.
What gearbox has it got?
It's got something called a CVT, which is the
Ah,
most
oh, that explains
unbelievably
it.
cucked invention in
Continuously
automotive
variable
history.
transmission.
There we go. How's that?
I mean, whoever invented the CVT should be taken out and shot.
They invented it for scooters and then
Oh yeah,
carried
yeah,
it
it's
on
actually
to
a
our
screw. It actually
motors.
works on my Vespa. It actually
There
works on
you
my
go.
Vespa, but it's a Vespa.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, just as a point of view on this, I think that there's a lot of present toil, which you described last week in terms of 100 years, 50 years, 20 years, and so on. But at the end of the day, people, if you look at Ford as a company that came out of similar disruption, one of the reasons that people loved it was because suddenly millions could afford a Ford.
Yeah.
And therein lies, because, I mean, a lot of the stuff that they churned out was not particularly great design or great product design either. Engineering, yeah, one could say it was simple. And the engine was kind of one dimensional. But I think that there's something to be said similarly in generational change for the disruptors from China. The same way, your daughter will have a much, much stronger relationship with that brand, even when she's 30, than she will with any of the brands of cars that she's grown up driving in that you owned. So yeah, you can't put it back in the bottle, I think. You going into you now with every Alpha comes with a garage, the continuation of that story. Well, just to recap, this is the doctor last
And it's literally this is what's only an Alpha's about. I mean, like, and seriously, look at
like,
this place.
I need a whiskey. Like, it's not.
No,
You know
come on,
what?
doctor. We're going to roar this. Okay, so this is the Quadrifoglio Verde
We're
that
gonna
is
extract
not in
stuff
your
from you.
garage.
Don't worry.
Yes, tell us, doctor.
Tell
Come
us.
on.
This is a safe space. As I say, 4 people listening. No one's going to judge.
There's 3 of us and one of our wives.
In 2015, I attended the South African launch of the Alpha Giulia QV. QV standing for Quadrifoglio Verde, which is a green four-leaf clover, which was the racing team of Alfa Romeo.
Is it
And
because you need luck if you own an Alpha?
but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with that.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted one. And in April, I finally took the plunge. It didn't really make much sense financially, uh, but I've sort of managed to eventually convince myself that it was the right move, having come from a car that I didn't particularly love. And finally got my bum in the seat of a Giulia QV.
Beautiful
And
seat. Beautiful
beautiful
seat.
seat. I wish I could tell you that you shouldn't meet your heroes. I wish I could tell you that I was disappointed. Maybe that's what you want to hear, but it's
No.
blatantly not true. That thing is freaking brilliant. It is unbelievable, and it's just as good as I remember, and just as good as every time I've driven it and test driven it in the last 10 years. It is a piece of genius. And in
Thank you, Ferrari.
particular, thank you, Ferrari. Ferrari engineers allegedly were involved in its development, which why it's partly so good. We can come back to that. Um, and I was so chuffed. I was so happy. And what in fact, so I'll just put it quickly out there is what really impresses me about the car is its duality. Um, it is able to do comfort and sport at the same time without compromise. So in other words, it's sheer bandwidth is what's so impressive. When it's comfortable, it's quiet, and when it's sporty, it's absolutely raucous and outrageous, and it can do it all. It really is a very impressive thing. And this is exactly what I was saying to myself out loud in the car while I was driving home one Friday night as I hit one of Joburg's notorious potholes. And that's where the story develops. Couldn't see the pothole. It was raining. It was dark. The street lights weren't working. Surprise. And there was a pothole and I hit it. And I hit it hard. No engine lights, nothing like that. Carried on. seemingly unaffected. But this started the ball rolling on a very, very, very
Oh.
sad state of affairs. Um,
Where are you today?
and
What is your update
today,
from the garage today?
the last time I drove my car was 6 weeks ago, when I dropped it off for a service with a complaint that there was a noise from the front. It was a scheduled service, which is fine. And it's under motor plan, which is even better. But I did say one of my extras, and there's often a long list of extras.
With the
Check this,
doctor.
check that with me.
Yeah.
If you
Uh,
have ever sold a
uh,
car to the doctor, please feel free to reach out and give us just a little bit of
Yes.
an idea of what it's like to
yeah,
deal with him when
it
he
can't
brings
be
his
easy.
cars
It
into
can't be
service.
easy. I won't lie. But included on my list was a slight knocking noise from the front end that I think had started subsequent to the pothole. There was a little bit of up and down, as there usually is. They couldn't find anything. I told them to go back. They found a broken shock top mount, which anyway was supposedly 6 weeks to fly in from Italy. It only took four. Um,
Grazie.
Very exciting. Grazie, grazie mille. And we fitted the parts, and then we reversed it into the lift. So uh, that is an ongoing process that we are trying to resolve. Um, and that is why my perfectly good Alpha, which was everything I'd hoped and dreamed, has been off the road for 6 weeks because of essentially a a roller coaster initiated by poorly maintained road network.
So none of it is actually that car's fault. It's the
No,
driver, it's the road condition, it's
no.
the service agent, and it's whoever reversed it into the lift.
Poor
The
And that's
guy.
car.
what's so sad. It was a beautiful, brilliant car. And I know it's the right car. I know I bought the right car. I would probably just buy another one, given the chance. I'm very chuffed with it, and I miss it dearly.
What color is it?
It is called Trofeo White, which is a triple layer white pearl, which is part of the problem. It's difficult
Yeah.
to match.
They don't have triple, they've only got
I assume
double.
it's just a. I assume it's just a scratch or like a small ding, but it's just now you got to match it up.
No, they've ripped the bumper
Well,
off.
yeah, they ripped the bumper off, so it requires a new front bumper and
Oh,
a color match and paint protection film. And it's just troubles, man.
Damn
It's
it.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel you. I mean, I was driving home 2 nights ago in the GT3 and unfortunately hit a pothole, shredded the rear tire. So yeah, the Joburg roads are just not acceptable. I mean,
Bucky
it's
tires. Bucky tires solves
or
all
just
problems.
what those small wheels on a J Tour, man. There's got to be some logic to it,
Yeah,
considering the
you're not
car's
wrong.
about
You're
driving.
not wrong.
So
the
Lots of
irony is
My
profile.
feeling
actually,
is,
yeah, the
my
irony is
feeling
actually
is,
the Ferrari 308 is on relatively balloon tires for modern things. It actually rides fine, and so does the E.
Handles.
But as
Yeah.
soon as you start getting into these 18 inches, and it's just
18.
ridiculous.
What size are the Alpha's wheels? 20s.
19s, I think.
19s.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's a spectacular car. That the first one that I ever saw, I was driving home and it was dark, and I heard I heard the roar of Thor coming
Yeah.
up behind me, and I couldn't quite make it out. And it pulled up, and it was in that pearlescent, that color at night,
Sure.
that motor, and then it disappeared at pace. It was quite a
God, it's
sight to
fast.
see.
What
Oh,
a thing.
Well,
It's a
um,
I
really
just
good
want to
thing.
add that Nadav made our road chat
Did
because
he?
apparently 2.5 gears in our cul-de-sac is not appropriate.
Ah,
And you've
ah.
driven a race
apologies
car on
to
that
everyone
road.
concerned.
No. I make the road chat quite frequently.
Okay, so
So I
it's
will
a
just
goal.
say, so we do always want to turn it around a little bit, and what can we learn and maybe some consumer advice.
Good point.
If you're looking for a car, for Joburg roads, I highly recommend considering Porsche 911 Dakar, or failing that, Lamborghini Sturato.
Two
Lamborghini
Ooh,
perfectly
Charger.
good cars. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
mate's
agree.
no,
playing in the World
raised
Lap
ride
Game
height, off-road
Championships in
wheels.
Monte Carlo today, and he sent a picture of a Sterato sitting there. It's a cool thing. It's a cool thing.
There's nothing cooler. Nothing.
Oh, that's a bold statement. Well, then we're going to have to pull that into our which car should be resto mod and which shouldn't
Fine.
discussion. I think that's a
Barnes,
bold statement. We have to do a little one on that. We might have to bring that forward from episode 40 to episode 3, but we'll have an editorial meeting and decide. Okay, well, there's some interesting stuff. I mean, those are all real world choices.
Wish me luck.
Massively exotic. I beg your
you need
pardon.
it.
Wish me luck.
You need
When
it.
do you think it'll be back?
I currently am not sure. There's a small possibility it will not be back.
There's
Oh,
CBT and there's TBC.
Yeah. Oh, good one.
Okay.
Shit. All right,
So
Bonzi.
I actually have someone from outside the circle of trust that. Well, I took it upon myself. They didn't necessarily come to me and say, "Listen, we need your help." But clearly, as I'm about to describe in the picture that you will see, they do need our collective help. Now, as I've said before, I'm not a particular fan of Porsches, but in this case, a very, very nice 991.1, very loved and cherished.
Hmm.
Question is, this particular owner has 90,000 Rand. And they want one of the things that they're looking at is a performance exhaust setup from Porsche, which will probably end up being about 115,000 Rand. But they asked me, they said, what else could we do to give this car a little bit of, And as you can tell from the picture, I think I can speak for everyone else on this particular call right now, is that I think the first thing that comes to mind is pay someone 5,000 Rand to remove the fake tail, because that's just not on. It's like having an aftermarket sports option tail on a Carrera S. That's not quite a GT3 tail. It's a bit like having a tramp stamp.
No.
That's 991.1. No,
Not allowed.
it's not allowed. It's absolutely not allowed. So that's the first thing
Are
I'll
you,
do.
are you, Matthew? Are you saying that it's got the error kit? Is that what you're saying? So it's
It's
got that
got, but
little
it's
flick up
no,
at the
no.
back.
It's got the kind of it's more ornate than that. It's more ornate than just a little arrow.
So it's like
Right.
I saw that picture. I didn't.
it's like it's got a ducktail with a wing on top of it. It's disgusting. Is it aftermarket? It's not Porsche. It's not done by Porsche, right?
It was bought like that. It was bought like that,
Well, that's horrendous.
right? So I don't know who takes responsibility, but ultimately the owner of the car that keeps it on the car has to take responsibility.
Yeah.
My point is that 5,000 Rand to remove it, get the proper badge back onto it at the back of the car, you're left with 85,000 Rand. What would you do with 85,000 Rand? And it's a very nice 991.1 Porsche
I have
911
it
Carrera S.
because it's a naturally aspirated motor. I would do the exhaust.
yeah,
You would do the exhaust.
Do the exhaust, definitely.
yeah.
And who would you go to for the exhaust? Would you keep
Well,
it a Porsche? So a book?
Yeah, I would try and keep it at Porsche, and then they must give you the original exhaust in bubble wrap, so that you can give that to the next owner and keep its value.
Okay.
What does an Acra cost?
Man, it probably is an Acra, the performance pipe.
I think it is. I think Porsche supply Acropovich, but to the model via Porsche, if I'm correct. Doctor, you don't. Doctor, what would you do?
I'm just looking at this and I'm mildly horrified. I'm just looking at the picture again, and no, that's a definite no on the wing front. I just don't know what you would have to do to reverse it, because as
Yeah,
one of
because
the boys correctly said, I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to contain the
Okay, well,
the
let's
electric
Yeah.
mechanism. But
electric mechanism.
you
But
you asked
that's
me what I would do, and there's a couple of potentially little upgrades to 911.1 that I was going to consider.
here we go.
And an exhaust, and I agree that actually potentially an exhaust within reason might be a nice little upgrade, because they can sound very good. They can also sound very poor. So you've got to be very, very careful with what exhaust, but that's a whole other discussion. Inside the vehicle, I'd have a couple of questions, which the picture doesn't answer. Number one, if it's a very old car, some of them I think still have the push-pull
Yeah.
PDK
Flappy
wheels,
pedals.
not flappy pedals.
Yeah, it
No,
They
doesn't.
push-pull,
They were an
probably a
option.
terrible
and
design.
Yeah.
so I think I would look into replacing the wheel, which comes with paddles. So
How
just
much is
double
that,
check
doctor?
that.
You know, didn't you replace one of those before?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago, and that's the issue. So it'll
Oh.
Okay,
probably be
but that's a good shout.
somewhere between 30 and 40,000 rand to get your pedals, which is what you want.
But
Okay.
And
if
then the
if
second
you
thing
want
is,
pursuit driving, you need it. You actually have to
yeah,
have that because
I
the
agree.
push and pull that on using your thumbs just does not
Yeah.
work.
Um, I think that the 991.1 still had push pull, if I stand to be corrected.
It
And
did.
then the second thing that I didn't know is if the car does not have cruise control. Um, so once again, we're sticking with OE upgrades, actually. If you think about it, you're taking Porsche stuff and you're putting it on a Porsche car. So I think that's more acceptable than just modifying it with someone else. You can add cruise control. So it comes as a kit with 4 stalks instead of 3 around the steering wheel. It gets, and you can actually, if that car was not spec'd with cruise control, you can add cruise control retrospectively. Isn't that cool?
Okay.
Mm.
Well, listen, I don't think cruise control fits into the box, the options that he's
Yeah.
trying to tick in terms of giving it a little bit more, a little bit more vuma. But
Well,
those are good options. I mean,
I
steering
think
wheels
to
would be
drive
good.
it down to the Eastern Transvaal, I think I would welcome it. If you
You
want
know
to
what
take it
I'd
to the
do?
track.
I'd take it to a Basto and add a sunroof.
No, of course you would.
Yeah,
I drove a 991.1 Carrera S when it first came out. And I think it's more than enough car. I think that adding some sound through the exhaust will just make it more fun, but it is a slippery slope because if you get it wrong, the resonance isn't great.
hmm
But the paddles on the steering wheel is definitely the thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure the one that I drove, which was quite an early car, had the actual paddles, not the little silly things on the steering wheel.
Stand to be corrected, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
but those are two good ones. So we're saying exhaust, Akrapovic, which Porsche do fit, and I think it doesn't void your warranty. And they've got some very nice, tastefully, to your point, Doctor, about picking the right one. I think they've done a good job, as Porsche always does with the options. Then we've got 2 steering wheels. So I think those are good ones. Mikey, you agree on the steering wheel.
no sunroof.
I'm gonna, and this. Sorry, I beg your pardon. The late contender was the sunroof. I think that, but one of those, the kind of the big ones, so that you can pull it all the way back. It's got the curtains.
The
That would be
fabric
awesome.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, like a Timu Targa. A Timu Targa.
It's on.
I reckon that's and look, granted, I have a little bit more insight into the person who owns the car, but I don't think that's given me an advantage here. I would say, cool, you've got 90K to spend. You've clearly love Porsche, and as I said before, though, the problem with the Porsche in this particular person's case, it's their first one. So it's only a
Nice
matter of
car.
time before they have to have their second one, and then so the
So,
snowball starts. I think
look,
you take 90,000 rand and you buy yourself an air ticket and you go to a place called the Nordschleifer.
Yeah.
You spend 90,000 rand. What is that, Mikey? You can do the math. I mean, it's what's it, 5,000 euro, 4,500 euro?
It's more than enough. You can do a lot of laps there.
And you go and get some instruction in a whole bunch of Porsche products. And then you come back and then you decide, if you want to upgrade your exhaust, then you're upgrading the whole car. Or if you want to upgrade the wing, then you upgrade the whole car. So that would be my
No, but
suggestion.
and more importantly, then you can put the Nordschleifer sticker on the car, and when people ask, you can say, yes, I have driven it.
So the performance upgrade
Um,
between 991.1 and 991.2 is actually huge. A big jump.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's huge.
But normally aspirated.
It's a very good turbo motor. It makes really good noises, and it's got a lot more torque and power. It's a it's one of it is probably the biggest upgrade within the same series from point 1 to point 2. It is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. Yeah.
I'd just like to say congratulations to your mate because if that's his first Porsche, that is a flyer, man. That's a
Yeah.
brilliant car. 911.1 was good from the get-go. PDK box is still modern, doesn't feel slow even today. They're built well, they're relatively reliable. He's done very, very well for himself, other than that
Very
wing.
much so.
Yeah, other than that wing, I'd have to agree with you there. Okay, well, that's fantastic. There we go. So reach out to us if you've got any questions that we think that we might be able to answer about something you're thinking of buying, or someone that you know is thinking of buying, and we can do our best to dissuade them or tell them that they're very, very clever and they've won at life, even if they've got it slightly wrong. Into the next section. This is our meaty section where we go a little bit deeper. And in this particular one, this is where some emotion comes out. This one came up last week, and I think based on quick quantitative and qualitative research that we did with our audience, it definitely merits a spot here. Parking, Doctor. Let's discuss let's discuss this idea of public parking in public and what is acceptable and what is not. You lead us off.
Look, I think I may have been misunderstood. What I was alluding to was my own system of parking rules, okay, which I don't understand why everybody else doesn't have. Okay. For people who park poorly, which is, I think, where the meat of the issue is, I think we must definitely speak to Mark because Mark feels very strongly about people who park poorly,
I had stickers made.
enough to
But he's
produce
devised a
his own
system. Mark has
set
got a
of.
system that sort of educates people.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
We might
It's
have
it's a
to.
clever system.
It is.
They look at the
It's
sticker and they
simple,
go,
yet very, very
I've done
effective.
something. Yeah, they look at the
I've
sticker,
done
they go,
something wrong.
I've done something
Here is
wrong.
the sticker. Here is the sticker with one of the parts of the sticker blurred out, but this is the sticker that
Right.
that we're talking about.
I've actually had
Yeah.
to do a rerun on the prints because they're very popular.
And you, but the thing is, you need to improve the quality of your sticker because it doesn't peel off nicely. It like tears in very like random ways.
All over the place. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
that might be a problem.
Yeah. But just going back to
Where is it
where
supposed to be put, Mark? Where is that sticker best placed?
So first off, never mind where on the car. I've learned where there's no CCTV is important. Secondly, not in direct line of sight on the windscreen. You could be held liable for some damage. So bumpers are good.
Numbers are good.
That's
So I think we have to offer a prize. Sorry, Doctor, carry on.
So going back to my set of rules, which I've kind of realized that people don't necessarily share the same views or don't necessarily understand, but perhaps this can be educational. So my logic, you go into a parking lot, right? You're looking for a wide parking. These are, and you can fulfill all or some of these criteria, and that's how you appraise each parking space that you pass, right? We want it to be wide. We want it to have 2 pillars on each side.
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
a wall and a pillar. Or at the very least,
2
one
pillars.
pillar.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We do that.
All right. We want it to be relatively far away from the door of wherever you're going. Okay. And there's logic to any of these discussions, right? And so I'm happy to teach and bring forward and share the logic of all of this.
Okay. The wisdom,
right? So don't park close to the door because the closer you park to the door, the more people have to pass your car to get to the door and back, right?
It's basic statistics.
So don't do that. It's statistics. Park far away, less people will walk past your car, right?
Very
Number
technical.
2, don't park in between 2 cars. Why? Because you've got twice the amount of chance that someone's going to open their door into you.
Yeah.
So find a pillar. That's half the chance that someone's going to open their door into you, or find a
Yeah.
wall in a pillar, and then no one's going to open their wall into you, right? Surely this is obvious.
You can
It's
Okay,
include
I
a
obvious.
didn't.
third
I
wall. Third wall,
okay,
you can park against the wall.
nobody in front of you.
Nobody in
Absolutely,
front. Yeah.
100%. So
Or
these
you
are
could
the kind
just
of
Uber
rules.
wherever you're going. Or you could just Uber.
You can just
So these are the
Uber,
kind of
yeah.
rules that I follow.
So
There's the more hazy sort of rules. It's like, okay, well, if I'm forced to park next to a car, which car would I park next to? Okay, so then that becomes very difficult, right? So if I've got a choice of parkings, am I going to park next to this car, next to this car? Also, remember to always park on the left in South Africa if you have a choice of somebody, because it's more likely to be a driver getting on the right and less likely to have a passenger, which means less likely to have their doors open into you. Okay, so these are
Okay.
all
Yeah.
just logic and wisdom, right?
Simple.
And yet, my wife tells me that she doesn't understand. Every time we drive into a shopping
Oh,
center, she's like, "Why have you not parked yet?
yeah.
What are you
What
looking for?" I
are
say,
you
"I'm
still
looking
there's
for,
the
I'm trying
parking
to
there? There's a parking
fulfill."
there.
We've just passed 10 parkings. And me here, I'm trying to I'm trying to fulfill as many tick boxes as possible and
Uh,
choose a parking that will protect my car.
Glad I'm not
That's what I was
alone.
Question.
getting at.
All I can say.
Question.
I'm glad I'm not
Question.
alone.
From the
yeah.
doctor, I mean, this is you started working this out when you were in standard 5, and it was probably perfected for your first, your first thesis at age 16. But what is the cars for our listeners, for our 4 listeners? What are
Yeah.
the 3 cars that if there's a parking right there, perfect one, but
Yeah,
that car is there,
yeah.
you're like, oh, and it's a double sided. It's protected on the front, protected on the side. There's a pillar, but there's a car there, and you go, no, I'm not taking the risk of parking next to that because it's now on the right. That's on the left of you. What would that be? What 2 cars would those be?
So 3 cars would be a Honda Jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing good ever happens around a Honda Jazz. Whoever's driving that, guarantee you, they don't care about your car. Number two, or they'll pull out sideways. They'll manage to take the bumper off. Anything will happen in a Honda
This is
Jazz.
true.
Um, anything that clearly carries children.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, if there's car seats visible or those magnetic hands, put your hand here so that you don't run into the road.
Or,
Or
or those pictures
baby
of
on board
families.
or any of
Or
those
the
things.
family
Pictures
sticker.
of families,
The
those stick
family sticker.
people. Don't park there because someone's going to open their door into you. Some kid's going to fall out. Another kid's going to fall out afterwards. Don't do it. And then a third one, sure, it's a difficult, yeah. Maybe any very old, like a survivor car,
City golf.
that's been
A
through
city
it.
golf. A
But
Yeah,
city
it's
golf.
got
city
to, it's
golf.
got, it can't be like a clean city golf is different. You may
Yeah,
park next
yeah.
to a clean city golf because
Yeah,
someone's been
good.
proud
Yeah.
of that, right? It's gone 40 years and it's made it and it looks good, right?
Good
It's the
point.
ones that have stuff taped on and bits that are missing and different colored
Yeah.
panels that are still in primer and like
Yeah, yeah.
maybe don't, but
16
that's
grand,
maybe
and
an
we buy
obvious
cars,
one.
the dome. It's the kind of
Right.
city golf
Yeah,
you'd buy.
exactly.
16
Perhaps
grand.
don't park there because also nothing good's going to happen. But
Yeah.
I'm open
Can
to
I just
suggestion.
can I just add that the rules that we have set down around pillars and things like that to BMW drivers, creating wide parkings from 2 parkings is not in the spirit of what we're talking about.
I have
No,
a
that will
sticker for
require
that.
a sticker from Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
Yes,
sticker for
and
that.
and
2
Two
yeah,
stickers,
stickers.
one per parking bay that you've taken, 2 stickers from
Yeah.
Fair
Mark. That is
enough.
the doctor's prescription.
Absolutely fair.
Yeah. And what's the car that you would park that when you know that you hear the angels singing when you've got the park next to you? What would that be? The best in your statistical observation of the possibilities of damage to your car? What would that be?
Well, I think it's what I've said. If you drive past a car that's old, right,
The
and the
classic
parking next to it is free, but it's well taken care of. I'm not talking about a classic that's always been valuable. I'm talking about
student car. Yeah.
like a student car or like an old Cressida or something, but that's
Yeah.
immaculate.
I
You
actually have
know
a
that
story.
person's looked after that car better than you ever could, right? It's made it through 35 years, probably 400,000 kilometers to be there, parked next to you.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
2.5 GLE Cressida with original trim.
Exactly.
I have a story about this exact thing. Have I got time, Bonds?
Well,
Yeah,
we've got 6 minutes. We've got 6 minutes left.
Okay,
of
quickly.
This,
I had to attend an expo. I don't know what it was at Nasrec, and I was my daily at the time was my Aston Martin. So I drove it into a field full of cars, and there were two fields. The one field was full of cars, the other field was becoming full of cars, but it was towards the end of the show. So I parked it in the middle of nowhere. And I came out. Right next to me was an absolute banged up, I can't remember. I think it was a Polo. It was terrible. And it had opened onto my car and dented my door.
No.
We were the only two. Yes. Yes. That
In the middle of the field.
I had never been so angry. I removed both of his side mirrors. But I took such
Presumably,
pleasure
you just had to pick them off.
I just broke them off and drove off, and I felt even worse.
Felt even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, retribution has a cost, as the Odyssey will teach us, even when it's on IMAX. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. And now we're into the home stretch, thankfully for us all. But a new feature for this week, and I think one that we must come back to.
Yeah.
Future classic cars that you can buy today that are available for you to go and buy, and things that at least half of our listeners could afford. At least half. The other half are in the stratosphere worrying about whether, the rumored G6 is going to be better than the Gulfstream. So let's start. Doctor, let's start with you. Cars you can buy today. What's your offering?
The buying new. That's what I wanted to check.
I misinterpreted that. I thought lightly used.
I mean, this is wonderful about the creativity of this crew. So, Doctor, you go with what you go with, man. Whatever tingles you in your costume area.
I have lots of questions about so I was thinking new, so maybe I'm wrong, but GR86.
GR86.
So
What is that?
Toyota, so that's a Toyota GR86. We can flash a picture of it up now. It is a really, really, really good looking thing. The GT86 that preceded it was, yeah, it was okay.
Wasn't
But
fast. It wasn't
Toyota,
powerful enough, but it was a good car.
no,
Well, it is a
but
good car.
Toyota addressed a lot of the shortcomings. I haven't driven one yet. I'd love to. It's only a 2.4. It's only naturally aspirated, so I don't think it's going to be particularly fast in Johannesburg, particularly at altitude. But I do think it's going to be fun. It's nicely made. You can get it in manual. It's a 2+2. You can take it to any Toyota to be fixed. And it's so pretty. Every time I see one, I just think that they've gotten the proportions right. It's going to age beautifully. I'm just wondering if it's not going to be a thing, if it's not sort of a relatively small amount of money to spend on something that you could really covet for many, many years and just enjoy when natural aspiration will be history, manual will be history. It doesn't have too many nannies, and ADAS doodads, it's
It's a
kind
Toyota.
of like it's a Toyota, but it's also like the end of an era to some extent. Um, what do you
Yeah,
guys
I
think?
like it. That's a
Yeah, I
perfect
think
car.
it's great.
Gazoo Racing, GR's put their name on it, so
Hmm.
it can't be completely rubbish. That's
Haven't they just changed
what
it?
does that go for?
It's not called Gazoo anymore. They've changed it just GR.
Yeah.
I think
And the
that's
Yeah.
GRGT is a thing, hey? The GRGT is going to be a monster. I just
So
love the
that's
look of
the
it.
new supercar from Toyota, yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the
Based
new
on the same
me.
platform.
This is the new me embracing Toyota. I've battled, but I'm listening.
Is the GT on the same platform, or does it borrow anything in terms of
No,
the
no, no,
chassis?
no,
The
no.
No,
wheelbase thing
it's
completely.
clean sheet. It's
Oh,
quite a big
okay.
deal. It's a clean
Isn't
sheet
it?
design. They want to race with it. It's not derived from
I think,
anything, actually.
That's fantastic.
yeah,
It
it's a good
is
thing.
outrageous looking. It is, I mean, effectively, it's the new
Or GT.
the LFA. Effectively, it's
And
what
if
the
Yeah,
LFA
the new
was. Yeah.
LFA.
Mm.
Lots of good stuff coming from Toyota for
What
the
does that go for?
enthusiasts.
What does that go for?
It's going to be a number,
GR86. No, the
probably.
GR86.
Oh,
The
The
GR86. We're in real world here, guys.
GR86, we back to the real world. The GR86, I think you can, I haven't looked at Auto Trader for a while, but I think you would pick lightly used examples in the 600,000s.
Let me look.
New, you'll pay somewhere around the late 700 to 800 mid mark, which sounds like a lot of money, but for cars these days that are so expensive, you're getting a pretty unique proposition. Rear-wheel drive, manual, 2+2 coupe, built well, beautiful chassis, beautiful looks. I just think, that we might not see the likes of it ever again.
They range
Yeah,
from
it's-
579 up to 874.
Amazing.
How much power does it make?
Not enough.
Mm,
I'll tell
whatever it
you.
is, it's probably not enough. Like
Again, I think it's listen, I think what's very clever about this is that when you're up against the Toyota, as far as I know, is still the biggest car manufacturer in the world. And if you're up against the onslaught of your neighbors to the northwest and to the north, then this is a great, well done to Toyota, because for that price range, same as a J2 or J2 or T2, sorry, that you're putting something into the market that's pretty compelling. So well done to Toyota.
So it makes
Yeah,
174 kilowatts, but the problem
Okay.
is it's only 250 Newton meters because it's NA, non-turbo, which has always been a mistake with that car. Anyway, 0 to 106.8, so pedestrian.
Put a turbo on it.
adequate.
Yeah, turbo.
All right.
The answer to everything.
That's very nutritious and useful, I think, to our three listeners. Michael, what is yours? What is yours?
So I misunderstood the assignment. So I'm going to talk about, and actually I don't really follow new cars closely at all. So I mean I haven't even really looked at the specs on the GR86, and I will after this. But I like to look at let's call it unloved cars, or cars that are sort of bottoming out that have potential upside. And I was looking at the Mini 2006, I think it is, the first Works GP, which was effectively the supercharged one. It had a 1.6 supercharged engine, and it had a whole lot of stuff taken out of it. And when you start looking at the fact that these cars were numbered, there were only 2,000 of them. What ends up happening is that over the course of their lives, they start getting wrecked. And if you go and look at cars that were built in limited numbers that had really fun, that are fun to drive, I think that there's massive upside potential on this. And I really would love to own one at some point. It's not fast in the modern day, but it is just a brilliant chassis, good noise. The car actually does things, as in it understeers. You lift off, it oversteers. It's got missing pieces because it's race inspired. So it's like, I don't think it's got rear seats, and it's just cool. And it's small
amazing
as well by modern standards. But that's my tip.
Am I right in saying that it was outsourced to Bertoni?
That I'm not sure, but it's just a fun car. It's just a fun car, and it's a bit silly, which is cool.
It's a phenomenal. It's one of the
100%.
greatest cars. One of my favorite cars I've ever driven was that.
Brilliant.
That's a very good shot. And Doctor, I'll come back to you with my choice. There may well be a connection, because there's another connection between the car that Mike's just described, that particular Mini, the return of Mini under that shape, and the one that I've chosen. So maybe we can debate that. It's a fantastic thing. I looked a while back, probably 4 months ago, and quite a few of the pre-Ozempic Minis. So the post one that you're talking about, the next gen, where they started to get some suburban spread, and I think they've lost the genius of the original Frank Steffensen. Suburban spread. They have fat Minis, I call them.
I feel seen.
hypertension and diabetes, I suspect they have in their system. How fat they've got. But what I was going to say is I can't remember right now. Oh, I saw one for sale 3 months ago. There was only one of that gen, and it was about 300 grand. And I looked at it, and it was like 120,000 Ks, the kind of car that looked like it had been looked after. And I thought that has to be a buy at 300K, because the next Cooper Works ones are not as nice. And they've got the stranger wheels, and some of the body kit went a bit wonky, probably better performance. But that original is a cracker.
Yeah.
I actually.
And the first and the last of everything are the most valuable.
Well, you never know that they're the last. That's the bloody problem with looking forward. Okay, Marcus.
I had a few, but I think this is going to be a regular segment, so I'll just do one.
Okay, good.
I said a Golf 7 GTI Club Sport. Great car.
Sport.
Tasty. Tasty.
Even an S. Club Sport.
What does that go for? What does that go for? Because that was a limited run car as well.
It was the 2-door Club Sport. Is it? The Dove knows the facts. 2-door was an S, huh? Is that right?
2-door was the S.
Yeah, and they came in manual. Great.
Trevor,
I'm going to check, but they
must have been one of the last manuals.
Yeah,
last performance manuals. It was a Club Sport.
Yeah, it's a great car. It shocked me how good it was. Really, really. A friend of ours had one, and it was really incredible. So a definite future classic. Classic already, if you ask me. That's mine.
There's a potentially shocking theme here for our choices this evening, knowing what mine is as well, which is that there's quite a few front-wheel drive cars in this mix, shockingly.
They're great. They're fun.
Sure. Front-wheel drives can be good.
No, it'd be astonishing, but I'm just saying that considering that we're very much unprepared and unaligned and generally chaotic, it's quite extraordinary that the universe has created a Venn diagram of our choices. So mine is the Abarth, the 500 Abarth. I think that looking at those, there are quite a few around. They are not everyone's cup of tea in terms of to drive, but there's just been a dramatic zoom in, as you saw, on the doctors as he took his position. The doctor agrees. But when you said that was the design of the Cooper S outsourced to Bertoni, there could well be, because there's an absolutely unbelievable car designer who I don't think gets enough credit, called Frank Steffensen, who designed the new Mini. He was then, Ferrari said to him, we want you to design the new Fiat 500, which he designed. And there's a whole story about that. There's a great documentary out there on him. But I think he had to do that. They said, he said, how long have I got? And they said 6 months. He said, oh, that's great to design the car. And they're like, no, to make the car. So he did both. So there's a good chance that actually Bertoni was involved, considering that Frank Steffensen was the lead designer for both of those, the new Mini and the 500 Bath. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at some examples, and 300 grand, 340 grand. If you bought privately, you could probably find one that had, full service books. But I think it's a fantastic design, and it's a wonderful package. They're obviously different.
I've got a modified one. It's pretty cool. Matt Creed's got a modified one, and it sounds mad, but just all cool. Just the interesting thing, I just want to just note that each one of these cars that we've listed, just picture the stereotypical driver of each one.
Yeah, he probably lives in four.
Handsome,
who would buy them? They actually are four different people. Four different people.
Yeah, completely different.
To the Abarth, I've got some experience. I drove one for about a month.
Yeah. Wasn't good.
It's a cracking little thing. No, it's brilliant. The noise is sensational. It's a great little chassis. So much fun in such a little car. It's a little bit small if you're planning on using it as a daily, particularly with maybe picking up some kids. So that may be pushing it too far. But if you're only going alone, I absolutely recommend it. The only criticism, and I Googled this extensively, okay, because I could only find one proper problem with that car, is that you cannot heel and toe.
Is it impossible?
It's impossible.
Because
It
the one
doesn't
I
matter
found
what
is a
you do.
manual. I
Why let you
looked for a
push
manual.
both?
There's so few
But
manuals.
it won't let you push both
Impossible.
buttons at the same time. Yeah.
So you can't. There's no way to get from the brake pedal to the
Uh,
accelerator. And I Googled it extensively. There's no kit. Nobody makes a kit. Nobody can fix it. It really robs you of that last kind of interaction of
No.
just keeping
I
that
think there was
little
a
engine on the
there was a
boil.
very limited edition one called Biposto, I think, which had a
Yeah.
sequential gearbox. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's over
it
a
did.
million rand. That's
Dog
over a million
ring,
rand.
Yeah.
Biposto,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Still
that's
a
like what you just
1400
told me
turbo.
now. What you just told me now is like finding out that Kate Moss is a vegan. It's
yeah. So
that's
if anyone
so
knows, leave it in the comments below. If they've fixed that issue, then
let us
honestly,
know.
I saw a 50,000 kilometer Abarth with a price starting with a 2. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was perfect. Those things are good call, German Barnes. Good
Well,
call.
I mean, I'm glad that you're endorsing because obviously, it's nice to get your endorsement as well because you're far more educated than I am. Your motoring palates far more educated. But anyway, and now we're definitely at sunset on this episode too. So we did last week, which I think was very useful to our listeners because that's ultimately what we're here for, a public service. We talked about channels that you should tune into, and I hope that some of our audience, all three of them, have gone and checked out those channels because there's some really good stuff in there. This week we want to do a particular piece of content, so we won't bore you with why and give you spoiler alerts. We'll just tell you what the piece of content is and why we think you should watch it, and we'll be brief because, as you can see, the doctor has killed one battery, and we need to wrap up and move on because Mike is also flagging. So, things you need to watch: a single video. Let's start with you, Doctor, because you are electronically challenged. What is your single piece of content that people should watch this week to maintain their motoring education?
Well, I'm wondering if there are various good and bad reasons to watch the Marcus Brownlee video on the Luce drive.
Okay.
So Ferrari Luce, I don't think anyone is particularly a fan amongst us or in the audience, but um, he does get to drive it in the video. And despite being a tech guy, I actually thought that some of his commentary was reasonable. He's got quite a lot of
Yeah.
experience with car testing. And I thought that it was actually quite impressive. What was funny was Raffaele De Simone, who is the chief test driver, sitting next to him and saying nothing, but
Yeah.
being unable to stop his Italian face showing his emotions about what he was hearing, and so that's probably worth a watch.
His subtitles.
Just
Remember,
give that a go. Only just from an educational point of view.
That's a good one.
well,
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that the world went crazy about the Luce because of how it looks. We hadn't even
Yes,
got to the part about how it drives. So
correct.
it's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's Ferrari.
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus, what's your
Mine is a video on the Top Gear YouTube channel. It's a video I keep going back to. It's a couple of the hypercar, supercar bosses driving each other's cars. It's brilliant. You've got Christian van Koenigsegg bringing his Agera. I think it's the latest Agera. Mate Rimac. He brings two cars. He brings a Chiron, and he brings what is his electric car called? I can't remember. Anyone? The Rimac.
the 2,500 horsepower one?
The Rimac, yeah. And then Rob Dickinson with a Singer DLS, I think. Wow. And they each get to drive each other's cars. The reactions that they each have to the other guy's car is phenomenal. It's definitely worth a watch. One of the greatest videos out there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Michael.
Now I'm going to go back to the doctor's one because I was also watching that Luce video, and there's a lot in it. I think the way that there is simulated sound is both something we could hate on, yet somehow there was something interesting about that sound, and not to spoil the video too much, but it's not actually a fake sound. It's just an amplified sound. That said, he also has the ability to power slide the car. So, we talked about the simulated manual that the 12 cylindry has. And ultimately, it's around making sure that there is a driving experience there. And whether we like it
Enjoyed
or
the
not,
video. Enjoyed the video.
we're going to have to get to grips with simulated stuff now.
Okay.
Cool. What's
Cool.
yours, Bonds?
Well, I think those are two suggestions. Because Mikey gave us an endorsement, excuse me, on the Doves, then I'll throw in two quickly. Robert Alblas's Mercedes C11 at Spa. It's 6 minutes long, high definition sound, no talking, and even better, that's why the doctor is making animal noises, is because it's at a wet spa, which Spa-Francorchamps, the course in Belgium. So go and have a look at that. It's just spectacular. Always not just the filmmaking, but the driver of the car, which is fantastic. Or the other one, which is from a while back, Petrolicious, excuse me, 250 GTO, no talking, just test drive with Phil Hill's son. So the original driver of the car who raced it in period, it's his son driving it down a forested mountain road. So
isn't that a rare mid-engine 250 GTR? I think it is an LM or something. Anyway, it's spectacular.
I'm not entirely sure, but it is if you wondered what the hype was about the 250 GTO, whether you like the body or not, that motor is a spectacular thing.
Oh, I'm going to go and watch that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go and watch that now. Put some headphones on.
I haven't seen the Spa one. I'm going to go watch that now.
Go watch that. Go down a wormhole. So I think it's fair to say that we have once again raised the global bar of motoring content. I think that's fair. I don't think we're blowing smoke. Well done, gentlemen. Once again, we have done our civic duty. And to our 6 listeners who are not family, thank you. As the doctor would say, we cherish you. Remember, please subscribe and like, because apparently that's a thing on YouTube. Although, who knows? We'll figure it out. Leave a comment, even if it's inappropriate and rude. Even if it's rude and inappropriate, the better. We enjoy that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe next week our audience will break double digits, but that depends on the bot farm at a data center in Lesotho. And until then, remember, most importantly, park nicely and be kind to your clutch and to yourself. Good night.
Good night.
Cheers, gents.
Cheers.